What's
Hey.
up, husbands and wives and future husbands and wives?
Yes,
Listen, welcome
yes.
back to the Power Core Marriage Podcast, episode number 3. This is Marriage
That's
Works
right.
Part 2. So if you haven't caught Part 1, you got to go back, listen or watch episode number 2.
Yes. Marriage works. I need you to say that right now. We believe in speaking life. Say what you want to see until you see what you said you saw. So I want you all right now to say this. Say, my marriage works.
My marriage works.
Come on. You got to say it. You got to believe it. You got to know that you're in it to win it. You're not in it to lose. You're not a part of something that you expect to lose. And so you don't want to lose your marriage. That's what most times when we dealing with people who are struggling, we hear about how people are losing their marriage, but it could mean that not necessarily losing their marriage first, they may be losing their power. You know, a lot of times when you lose power, then the thing doesn't work anymore.
That's right.
And so we're talking about marriage works.
That's right. And so in marriage works, you know, we hear all the time, marriage works if you work it.
Yeah.
And we hear, you know, like, what does that mean? Especially when people who are going through and they're ready to throw in the towel. It's like, what you mean marriage works if you work it? I don't want to hear that. I am working it. And it's like, well, what are you working? So it's not about working each other. It's not about working on each other. No, it's not about that. But marriage works if you work. And it's not just a good hashtag because we see it on hashtags a lot. But marriage works if you do the necessary things to understand that I have joined with another person.
Right.
It is not just me. So that means it can't be all about me.
Right.
When you come together, you talk a lot about when two become one, and that's like a crazy idea. So we have to deny, you know, ourselves, and people like, deny myself. I'm somebody. Nah, see, that's the mentality. We can't take a single mentality into our marriage. And so support is a huge part of marriage working. And a lot of marriages don't work because they don't know how to support each other or don't really understand what support looks like.
Yeah, but you see, the essence of marriage itself means union. Like if you define the word, you look at the definition of the word, it's a union, it's a binding. You may see words like wedlock, you know what I'm saying? And so those things mean like you're locked in. And as an athlete or as an athletic director and dealing with sports a lot, even when we're like motivating our sons, or we see people who are really in the game and they're in it to win it, they say, I'm locked in.
Yeah,
they say I'm locked in. And so when you're locked in, you are all into the goal of marriage. You're all and you're the goal of the team. Like it's about the team. When I'm locked in, then I lose my own self-interest for the interest of the team. Where are we going? Oftentimes I'll hear superstar athletes when they're interviewed and they start being told about their works in order to win, the works they put in to win, and they start bragging on the athlete itself for the team's win. They'll interview the athlete or the superstar for the team's win, and a good superstar, a leader will say this. Oftentimes they'll say, man, it's the team.
Yeah,
I couldn't do this without the team.
That's true.
You know, I did my part. And then they'll start celebrating those who did their part. Why? Because what they're doing is celebrating the works. And oftentimes they're not talking about necessarily the works on the court, the performance. They're talking about the work that it took to get them to the game, get them to win. And so when we hear works, I don't want you to look at that word and allow that word to become a word that is a mundane, kind of boring, a word that makes it feel like it's no life in it. No, works truly means that you have the opportunity to put in the actions, the corresponding actions that will lead to a successful marriage. Because faith without works is dead. So
it don't work.
It's the same thing. You can replace marriage with faith works. You can say marriage works, faith works. And so if you put your works to it,
that's good.
And you have enough faith. If you believe, and so the question is like, do you believe that your marriage can work?
I love that. And then I like that too. That might be a thing. Like marriage without works is dead. I like that. That's a real thing. Marriage without works.
You heard it right here at the Power Core Podcast. Yep.
No, for real.
Marriage without works is dead.
That's a real thing because it does take work.
But not just any kind of works.
That's right. That's
marriage, because faith without works, that means faith without the corresponding works, meaning what does it mean corresponding? That means your works have to match the faith.
That's good.
Meaning the works have to match because faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. Hope. You heard the word.
That's right.
It's the substance. You heard that word. You heard the hope. That's what faith is. And so you can't have a marriage without the hope and the substance, meaning the stuff. What is the stuff of a marriage? Love.
Yeah, that's right.
Care.
Yes.
Compassion.
Got to have it.
Sacrifice.
Have it. Yes.
And today, the two things we're going to deal with today, support and grace.
Support and grace.
Like grace, support again, but love, it's those loving actions that support the marriage. So that's the same thing about faith and works. It's the loving actions
I like it.
that support the faith.
And I love so we're basketball people. Like we love basketball. And so a lot of times I love what you said, even about a team and a good team player and what that player would do in that interview. And so we see the star player or the franchise player. You know, sometimes they're knocking down 50, 60 points, and it's like the highlight. Yeah, no, for real. I have seen. Come on now, Chris Paul.
60 points.
Chris Paul, did he go 60-something points in the game before? No. The man interviewed said he scored 60-something points before. But listen,
so
what I'm saying,
go ahead, because
so the point
what I don't want y'all to think is you got to score 50 and 60 points to win in your marriage.
I'm just saying, listen, what I'm saying is that's a lot of points in the game.
Right.
And so they're being interviewed. And so a jealous teammate would be like, I want to be interviewed. I want to be, you know what I mean? But a good team player understands their role. They understand their position at the time. And today it may be your 50, 60. It may be my 40 next time. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it could be your rebounds. It could be your assists. So what I'm saying is everybody on the team, even though you're the one being interviewed, you're still on the team. Like just the one that scored all the points ain't the one that's getting the championship ring in the game. The whole team, the people on the bench get the championship ring that never stepped foot on the court. So what I'm saying is in marriage, a lot of marriages don't work because they don't see themselves a part of the team. Like the spouse, it may be like, I want to do this, I want to do that, but we focusing on your business and your goals and different things. And so support in marriage, what that looks like is don't be separate from whatever the goal is at the time. And you say this a lot too, like what's the goal of the marriage? And so it's not Star's goal, it's not Hayward's goal, but what's the goal of the marriage? Like where do I fit in this to support it so I don't feel like I'm competing with it and then it causes a wedge between our marriage and we fall.
But you got to have something to support in order to support something.
Yeah.
Okay. And so when I hear what you're talking about, those star players that score 80 points a game.
I didn't say 80, y'all. I did not say 80.
But those people who are, I guess, in a sense, the standouts.
Yeah.
You know, in the marriage, you know, and again, I want y'all to hear that loosely because to me, while there may be standouts on a team, you can't stand out a part of something that you can't stand on.
That's good.
Meaning, and I'm saying it to say like if there's nothing to stand on, then there's nothing to stand out from. All right. Meaning your marriage is a platform.
Yes.
It is a platform. And when I hear platform, I know we on a social media platform right now, but I don't want you to take away from platform in the sense of something to stand on.
That's good.
All right. Your mission to stand on. And that's why we talk about you can't be married without God, because until you get your own marriage vision, your marriage idea, and of course our marriage vision is helping other marriages. Our marriage vision is to love each other as Christ loved the church, and as me as a husband, and the wife is to honor as unto the Lord. And then together we express and display God's love.
That's good.
As a married couple. And so in that comes so many things that we do to show love for each other in supporting each other, because we have something to support. There's a purpose for our marriage. And there's a purpose, not just for our marriage though, there's a purpose for our lives. And so in having a purpose for our lives, of course, the ultimate purpose is to love each other. Love is in the air. You see it in the back. But see, I know love is in the air, but take it out of the air and make sure it's in your hearts. Make sure it's in you. And so again, what are you supporting? What are you standing on? Well, the strongest thing to stand on the marriage is Christ.
Oh gosh, yes.
It's the word of God. And so those promises have to be embedded in the promises of God have to be embedded in your marriage. And so once you do that, then you might have one person in the marriage that may catch it faster. You may have some person in the marriage who maybe not necessarily catch it faster, but they are flying with their businesses or flying with different things, and to the point where it may make one person in the marriage, watch this, more visible than the other.
Right.
Okay. We're talking about people who are now dealing with, I feel like there's no room for me.
No place for me.
No. Now we have to make sure that you are making space.
That's right. Jump in.
For that, but also the person who feels like they have the dream, they have the goals. You got to make space for the person that is supporting you, because how can they support you if there's no place for them to support?
Yeah, but you also ask and this is being transparent. Like, we have a lot going on, and so you speak and you have different things, and I really think he can do, I think he can do anything. It ain't nothing out. I think if somebody give you something, you can like, go give it to Mr. John. You want a hype man for your program? Give it to Mr. John.
Mr. John.
No, call Mr. John. You know what I mean? But what I mean by jumping, I'm not saying like, I'm from Philly, y'all. So, jumping rope, like, where can I get in fitted? Not that way, but I'm saying, instead of the woe is me mentality, for anybody, it is easy for it to happen. It's easy to not feel a part of something, especially if you don't think that's my thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? But there's so many parts to making up whatever the thing is. Yeah. Like, back to the team. That person cannot shoot, dunk, rebound, assist, pass. You can't do all that by yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So whatever the thing is in marriage, and supporting whoever is the one that's out there at the time, yes, you have to make space, but if also you can ask, like, what do you want me to help with? Or how can I, both, because marriages sometimes the potential for a wedge, or it may not fall or work or whatever. It may fall and not work because it's like, you didn't ask for help. I ain't offer help.
Well, it goes back to this. And so support looks like serving each other.
I love it.
That's support is like, it's support. It's serving.
Yes.
That's what love is. It's serve. Like the word of God says, no greater love than a man has than to lay down his life for his friend. And so, of course, your marriage is a friendship. It is your marriage. Your spouse should be your best friend. And now, when you hear that, sometimes we think about best friend, meaning that term of endearment,
like
those feelings and all stuff like that. And that can accompany it, yes.
Yeah.
But your best friend really is the one that is the friend that is the best for you. Yeah, you never heard it like that before, right? Because I haven't either until I start considering what a best friend is. It's the friend that's the best for you when it comes to your purpose and your assignment on the earth. I need you to know, while you are married, you're not married absent of an individual assignment on this earth.
Good.
So when we hear marriage, people often think that means I got to throw my stuff away. Or I got to forget about my dreams. Nope. You get to bring those dreams into the marriage.
That's good.
The other spouse brings their dreams to the marriage too, and they now become one. The dreams, see, when the two become one, the dreams become one. The hurts become one.
Wow.
The hopes become one as well.
That's right.
And so when they become one, now you have something to work for, work on, watch this, or work out.
Right.
Again, you have something to work on, work for, or work out.
That's good.
If you have some issues, some things that you could bring to the marriage that are challenging, you get to work them out with someone that can help you. It's no different than a workout in the gym. Like if I'm bringing something to the gym, if I'm bringing extra weight, right, physically, I'm not saying as soon as I'm married, that's gone. That not extra weight that I brought to the marriage. I'm not fat no more. I'm married. You know what I mean? I'm not broke no more. I'm married.
No,
I don't have insecurity no more. I'm married. You know what I'm saying? Like all those problems that you have, like I don't have those things no more. I'm married. All right. See, so that's just a lot. You got to see that. It's a meme that went viral. Well, the person not something no more.
No.
But what I'm saying is people do think that all of a sudden I am not this no more. Like I am married now.
Yes.
And so marriage automatically fixes the thing that I was before I was married.
Right.
And marriage doesn't fix that at all. Marriage is not a fixer, but marriage gives the opportunity to submit to the fixer. And that is God. You got to submit your marriage to God. The Bible says in Ephesians 5, submitting yourselves one to another unto God. Like it's a submission unto God. That we both have to be coming together as one. And so that means we get to help each other work out. So if I go to the gym, then I have a workout partner. Your spouse is your workout partner.
Yes.
Your spouse is the one that tells you, helps you go and keep going when you can't go anymore.
Right.
Or when you are going, that your spouse has space to celebrate those successes. But how does the service look like? I use I do what I can to help you propel. That's service. I do what I can with each other.
Yeah.
To help you propel in front, meaning in front of people, or in behind closed doors.
Absolutely.
And truly behind closed doors is how you truly are able to successfully propel outside of the doors, serving one another.
And let me tell you, I'm going to go back to when you talked about all of those things coming together and merging. And that's why it is so important to remember that our wedding day is not the marriage alone. It was the launch to the marriage. And so our wedding day, we have the glitz and the glance. I don't care if it was the courthouse, the backyard, to the cathedral. No matter where we got married, almost most marriages do the salt covenant. And we pour it in together because it's supposed to be on the program. We're supposed to have it. But really, that was symbolic of just what you said just now.
Yeah.
It was symbolic of, and I remember when we got married, we said, pretty much, I dare you to separate your salt from his salt. When you do the salt covenant in marriage and you pour it together and all that separate, you cannot. So when you make that commitment of becoming one, it is no longer, I'm going through this. No, we are doing this together. And I want to submit this also from the prayer journal. It says marriage is about foregoing selfish ways and serving the one to whom you have made a commitment. Being selfless is not about losing your identity. It simply means you make a decision to yield, saying, I prefer your good to mine.
Yeah.
The beauty of both spouses making the decision to deny themselves and serve the other means everyone's needs will be met. And that's what you just now said. Like, supporting is not a selfish thing.
No,
it's not about I don't know who it's not that. Supporting, I'm telling you, and when we adopt that mentality in marriage, it's not just like, oh, my husband does this or my wife does this, but this is what we do and this is how I support and help. I mean, it just works. It works.
And don't let people compare you to each other.
Oh God.
Don't let that's what do you do? Like that is
people will do it. They'll try.
They
will try.
That kills a marriage when
they
you have
try.
People trying to put you against each other. And so that's why you gotta be, that's why I'm saying you are each other's best friend. You're the best support. And you know where you're going. That's why you gotta have where you're going. So Starlette read this from our Power Chord book, the book that we put together. Can I tell you this? One reason why we did the book, the primary reason is to help marriages. But another reason why we did the book is a work in our marriage, a faith project. We wanted to do something that required both of us equally, meaning the content that she offered to the project is just as much as I offer to the project. And it was why, because we wanted to do a product that showed how it takes two.
Right.
And it showed that we had to work together. And this is a small book, but a big project because it took so much work to mesh our ideas together. Because I had ideas to the point where I could have wrote this myself.
And he could have.
She had ideas where she could have wrote the book herself as well. And she could have too. But bringing those two together allowed us to work on how to bring thoughts together and watch this, and even be able to abandon thoughts that could have worked for the book, but weren't accepted just because we couldn't put everything in the book.
That's right.
What do I mean by that? I'm saying sometimes you might be right, but sometimes your right might not be good right now.
That's right.
It's okay to be right and not be right now.
Right.
Good job, Starlette. Good job, Star. Good job how you did that. Good job how you did that. It's okay to be right, but I don't want you to think that your right always means you have to be right now. Meaning your right always has to be what's on the table. Nope. Sometimes your right might not be on the table. Sometimes you have to take your right off the table.
That's right.
And see, here's the beautiful thing about it. If you all have so many rights, then that's a beautiful thing that you are wealthy in the rights. That means I got some rights that I can kind of hold on to.
Yeah.
Like those rights can be put to the side right now.
Right.
Like it's okay to have so many rights. But here's the thing. The beautiful thing about so many rights. Now I hope you're hearing what I'm saying. I'm talking about rights and correction, but now I'm talking about rights in
like
what you deserve, like what you believe is yours. Yeah. And so when you have those rights, sometimes you got to surrender those rights.
That's good.
I hope you heard this. That might be another podcast right there in terms of your rights, because looks like marriage works have two definition that we're using. The works, meaning the actions, and it works, meaning it's going to be operable at an optimum level. But then also rights, meaning correct, but also rights, meaning what you deserve, meaning legal obligation, legal thoughts, legal ideas for you. And so you can surrender those rights. To me, rights is what you have, what you deserve. But every time you don't, whatever in your marriage, you don't always deserve everything.
That's right.
Like everything is not about what you deserve more than it is about what does the marriage need
at that time.
What does a marriage need? And I love that at that time. And so in that leads to the grace.
That leads to grace. And so pretty much, I mean, grace and support, it really goes hand in hand, because even in supporting, it might not always flow the way that someone thinks it should.
Yeah.
Because you have to know how to support people sometimes. Sometimes you have a marriage, the person needs to know how to be supported, especially if it's an independent, individual in marriage. And so it's like, how do I support you? Allow me to support you. And even when we created, from the very beginning in the foundation, our whole marriage was built off of you need somebody to help you. I need support. So marriage is God's idea. He is the perfect one. And that was episode 1. Instructions are in the manual. So when you need to know how to be supported and when you need to know how to support, the instructions are in the manual, but you have to have grace. That means I might mess up.
Right.
But where is the space to mess up? Grace in marriage, Christ in the church. Oh my goodness, how much grace has Christ given us? And so that's what it looks like. And so
disgrace is when you don't give me room to mess up and you wait for the mess. I believe disgrace is when disgrace is when you can't wait for you to mess up. But grace is when you give love for people to mess up.
That's good. So there, I mean, I think that about sums it up right there. I think
don't be disgraceful.
I think you put that I always mix up how to say that thing, nail on the head on the nail. But anyway, y'all get the point. But I think that's it right there. Don't be disgraceful in marriage. Give each other the space for grace. While we're supporting and learning to support and growing and building, this thing, because this is something that you said, and we're gonna wrap this up. But the whole idea, never see anything except for Christ bigger than your marriage. I think that's the thing right there. Like, we are bigger than the goal. We are bigger than the business. This marriage is bigger than everything except for Christ.
Right.
And all that we do for him, that was a song back in the day. Only what you do for Christ will last. And so we got to have that Christ in the church mentality. We got to have grace, support each other, love each other. Don't see yourself as separate. You are
a part of something special.
You are.
I need you to know that. And,
you are.
And don't think that it has to always feel special to be special.
That's good.
You are a part of something special.
I love
Sometimes the feelings go away, but your marriage and the beauty of your marriage outlasts the feelings of your marriage.
I absolutely love it.
And the feelings can support, and that's good, but don't live and die by the feelings. Live and die by what you know. And that your marriage is awesome. And your marriage has the potential to do great things, but you got to believe in the power of God to cause your marriage to work, because without power, it cannot work. I wouldn't buy any device knowing that it's not going to work.
That's good.
I wouldn't buy this. Everything we're using right now, power is connected to it. And we purchased these items because we knew they were going to work.
That's it.
I don't believe you got into your marriage expecting it not to work.
Come on.
And if that's the case, if you believe that your marriage works, then we had to turn things on for it to work.
That's right.
Because the power allowed us access for the machines and the items to work. But we had to put certain actions in place that corresponded to the power that the items were connected to. So the power is connected to the devices, and then our works, the power that's in us, caused us to push buttons, turn things on, because we knew that if I pushed this button,
that's right,
it was going to work. Now, I'm not asking you to push the buttons on your spouse, because that might cause things not to work.
That's another
that's another podcast. What I am saying is, what actions are you putting in place with the idea that it's going to work?
That's right.
Meaning do things to support each other with this in mind. Our marriage works.
Y'all listen, it's not just a good hashtag, it's the truth. Marriage does work if you work it. So remember, unity, support, and grace in your marriage. It will work. It has to work. It was built and designed to work. Listen, we're always here to speak life in your marriage.
Speak life to your marriage.
And speak life over your marriage. Peace.
Power chord.